The day his father slammed the door in his face and shouted, "Get out, you disgusting faggot." David knew his life as he knew it was over. Little did he know that stumbling upon a simple black leather wallet on the crowded sidewalk of Manhattan would not only save him, but ignite a chain of events that would shake the foundations of his world and the nation's headlines. Rain soaked through his thin jacket as he stood frozen outside the family brownstone in Brooklyn, the eviction notice crumpled in his fist like a death sentence. His mother had cried but said nothing to stop it, and his younger brother just looked away, ashamed. At 26, David had built a modest life as a graphic designer after moving from Ohio, but one honest conversation at Thanksgiving had ripped it all apart. "No son of mine lives like that," his father had roared, and now here he was, jobless after his boss heard the rumors and cut him loose, with only $200 and a duffel bag to his name. He wiped his eyes and started walking aimlessly toward the subway, the city lights blurring through tears. That's when he saw it, half hidden under a newspaper stand on Fifth Avenue, a sleek wallet bulging with cash and cards. David hesitated, heart pounding. People rushed past without noticing, umbrellas bobbing like black waves. He picked it up, feeling the expensive leather, and flipped it open just enough to see the driver's license. Giovanni Rossi, 35, address in the Upper East Side. Photo showing a sharp-jawed man with piercing green eyes and a confident smile that made David's breath catch. Inside were platinum cards, a thick stack of hundreds, and a folded note that looked personal. His stomach twisted with temptation. He could disappear with this, pay rent for months, maybe even leave the city. But the thought of his father's voice calling him disgusting made him straighten up. No, he wouldn't become what they accused him of. David hailed a cab, ignoring the driver's skeptical glance at his damp clothes, and gave the address from the license. The building was a gleaming tower of glass and steel, doorman in uniform eyeing him suspiciously as he approached. "Delivery for Mr. Rossi," David lied, clutching the wallet like a shield. The elevator ride felt eternal, his reflection showing red-rimmed eyes and stubble. When the doors opened on the penthouse floor, a stern assistant in a tailored suit blocked him. "Sir, you can't be here without an appointment." David held out the wallet. "I found this on the street. It belongs to Mr. Rossi. I just wanted to return it." The assistant's eyes widened at the sight, but before he could respond, a deep voice cut through from the hallway. "Let him in, Marcus." Now, Giovanni Rossi stepped into view, taller than the photo suggested, wearing a crisp white shirt unbuttoned at the collar, his dark hair perfectly styled. Those green eyes locked on David's, and for a split second, something electric passed between them, unspoken but undeniable. Giovanni took the wallet, checking it quickly, then looked back at David with genuine surprise. "You brought this all the way here yourself? Most people would have kept the cash." David shrugged, trying to hide the tremor in his voice. "It wasn't mine. Seemed right to return it." Giovanni nodded slowly, a small smile breaking through. "Come inside. At least let me thank you properly." As David followed him into the sprawling apartment, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Central Park, he felt the weight of his soaked shoes on marble floors that probably cost more than his entire life savings. Giovanni poured 2 glasses of water, handing one over without ceremony. "David, right? Your ID was in your pocket when you showed it to Marcus." He hadn't even noticed. "Yeah, David Harlan." Giovanni leaned against the kitchen island, studying him. "You look like you've had a rough day. Everything okay?" The kindness in his voice cracked something open in David. He hadn't expected this from a man whose name screamed power and money. "Family stuff. It's complicated." Giovanni didn't push, just nodded. "Family can be the hardest battle. I know a thing or two about that." They talked for 20 minutes, surface level at first, David mentioning his design work, Giovanni sharing how he built his tech empire from a garage startup. But beneath the words, David felt seen in a way he hadn't since coming out. When he stood to leave, Giovanni pressed a business card into his hand. "If you ever need anything, call. No strings. You did me a huge favor today." David pocketed it, stepping back into the elevator with a strange warmth fighting the cold in his chest. Outside, the rain had stopped, but his problems hadn't. He crashed at a friend's couch that night, mind racing with Giovanni's face and the impossible spark he swore he imagined. The next morning, His phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Marcus checked the security cams. You really found it on Fifth. Dinner tonight? My treat. Giovanni. David's thumb hovered. Saying yes could open doors or destroy what little he had left. But the alternative was another night wondering if he'd ever be accepted anywhere. He typed back one word. Yes. Little did he know this single decision would soon drag his buried secrets into the glaring light of national attention, forcing him to confront every fear he'd run from and every love he never thought he deserved. The restaurant Giovanni chose was intimate, tucked away in a quiet corner of Soho with dim lighting and tables spaced for privacy. David arrived in his best button-down, still damp from the cheap laundromat dryer, nerves twisting his stomach into knots. Giovanni was already there, standing to greet him with that same magnetic smile, dressed in a navy blazer that probably cost more than David's rent. You clean up nice, Giovanni said, pulling out a chair. They ordered pasta and wine, conversation flowing easier than David expected. Giovanni asked about his designs, genuinely listening as David described his dream project, a campaign for LGBTQ youth centers. That's powerful work, Giovanni replied, eyes softening. The world needs more people like you fighting quietly. David felt a flush creep up his neck. No one had ever called his passion powerful before. As the night deepened, Giovanni shared fragments of his own past, growing up in a strict Italian family in Boston where emotions were buried under expectations of legacy and heirs. I built everything to prove I didn't need their approval, he admitted, swirling his glass. David nodded, the parallel hitting hard. But the warmth shattered when David's phone lit up with a call from his mother. He silenced it, but Giovanni noticed. Family again? David hesitated, then the words spilled out. They kicked me out. For being gay. Said I'd never amount to anything. Giovanni's face darkened with understanding. I'm sorry. That pain doesn't fade easy. Their hands brushed reaching for the bread, and neither pulled away immediately. The spark from the penthouse returned, stronger now, laced with shared vulnerability. They walked along the Hudson afterward, city lights reflecting on the water like scattered stars. You didn't have to return the wallet, Giovanni said softly. Most would have walked away. David stopped, facing him. I couldn't. It would have made me the person they think I am. Giovanni's gaze held his, intense and searching. You're nothing like what they think. You're brave. The moment stretched, lips inches apart, but David stepped back, heart hammering. I should get home. Thanks for tonight. Giovanni didn't push, just hailed a cab and slipped him cash for the ride. Call me tomorrow. I mean it. Back at his friend's overcrowded apartment, David lay awake replaying every glance. The next day brought chaos. His old boss emailed termination papers citing company values, clearly a cover for the rumors his brother had spread online. Friends from Ohio texted mixed messages, some supportive, others ghosting. Then a call from his sister. Dad saw your Instagram story from the restaurant. He says you're embarrassing the family. David hung up, fists clenched. That evening, Giovanni texted again, inviting him to a low-key gallery opening. David went, drawn despite the warning bells. Amid abstract paintings, they talked deeper. Giovanni revealed his company was launching a diversity initiative, but he kept his personal life locked tight. Board members like tradition, he said with a bitter laugh. David shared stories of his first crush in college, the fear of holding hands in public. Their connection felt real, grounded in mutual respect. Yet cracks appeared when Marcus, the assistant, pulled David aside at the event. Mr. Rossi doesn't do relationships lightly. Be careful. David brushed it off, but doubt lingered. Later that night, back at Giovanni's for coffee, a kiss finally happened, soft and tentative, full of years of hidden longing. David pulled away first, breathless. This is fast. Giovanni smiled. Sometimes life hands you a wallet and changes everything. They agreed to keep it private, navigating the newness with late-night texts and secret dinners. David started freelance work Giovanni quietly referred, easing his financial strain. For the first time in months, hope flickered. But loyalty from his circle fractured when his closest friend back home, Tyler, drunk dialed after hearing rumors. You're dating a billionaire now? Don't forget where you came from. The call ended in accusations of selling out. David felt the rift widen, wondering if anyone could truly stand by him. Giovanni sensed the shift during their next meeting at a hidden rooftop bar. "Something's bothering you." David opened up about Tyler, the family pressure mounting through emails. Giovanni listened, then shared his own secret, a past relationship that ended in betrayal when his ex sold a story to tabloids years ago. "I learned to guard everything." Their hands intertwined, the city humming below. David decided then to trust this path, even as whispers of his disownment reached old colleagues. The turning point loomed closer than either knew, when a single photo from a passing stranger would leak online, tying David's name to Giovanni's empire and forcing the nation to confront the billionaire's hidden truth in ways no one could predict. The leaked photo hit social media like a bomb at dawn. Blurry but unmistakable, David and Giovanni laughing on the rooftop, hands linked under string lights. Within hours, gossip sites exploded. Billionaire Giovanni Rossi spotted with mystery man. Is the tech king finally out? David's phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Tyler's name flashed first, the text dripping with betrayal. "I told your family you were chasing money." "Guess I was right." David stared, gut twisting. He hadn't shared details with Tyler beyond vague updates. Yet here was proof someone close had tipped off the press. Giovanni called immediately, voice steady but urgent. "Come to the penthouse. We need to talk strategy." David arrived to find Marcus coordinating with PR, screens showing trending hashtags. Giovanni pulled him into the study, door closed. "This isn't how I wanted it to come out, but I'm not ashamed of you." His words were a lifeline, yet David's mind raced to the consequences. His mother left a voicemail sobbing, "The whole town's talking. Your father won't speak." The misunderstanding escalated when tabloids twisted the wallet story. Gay gold digger finds billionaire's wallet and steals his heart. Comments flooded with hate, questioning David's motives. Giovanni paced, green eyes stormy. "I built this company on trust. The board is panicking." David offered to step back, sacrifice the budding relationship to protect Giovanni's empire. "I can disappear. Say it was a fling." Giovanni stopped him, cupping his face. "No. You've already lost enough because of who you are. We faced this together." But the decision carried weight. That afternoon, Giovanni held a press conference, confirming the relationship without details, emphasizing privacy. The nation reeled, stock prices dipped briefly, then stabilized as supporters rallied online. David's family escalated, his father granting an interview to a conservative outlet. "My son chose this lifestyle over blood." The words cut deeper than the door slam. Giovanni flew David's sister in secretly for a meeting, hoping mediation, but she arrived guarded, eyes darting. "He just wants you home, David." Without this, the conversation ended in tears, David sacrificing the last thread of family illusion by choosing to stay. Internal conflict peaked as David confronted Tyler via video call. "Why?" Tyler's face flushed on screen. "You left us all behind for him. I thought outing you would bring you back." Betrayal burned, but David saw the fear beneath, Tyler's own unaccepted struggles mirroring his. He ended the call without anger, choosing growth over revenge. Giovanni watched from the doorway, proud. Their love deepened through the storm, nights filled with honest talks about futures, Giovanni revealing plans to fund LGBTQ initiatives publicly now that the secret was out. The wallet incident became legend in headlines, symbolizing serendipity, but the pressure tested them. A major investor threatened to pull funding unless Giovanni distanced himself. David urged sacrifice, ready to walk away again. "Your life's work can't end because of me." Giovanni refused, deciding instead to pivot the company toward inclusive tech, a bold move that shifted industry norms. As weeks passed, David's freelance clients doubled, drawn to his story of resilience. He moved into a small studio Giovanni helped secure, independence intact. Yet psychological scars lingered, nightmares of rejection mixing with dreams of acceptance. Giovanni's family in Boston reached out cautiously, a tentative olive branch David encouraged him to take. The major turning point arrived during a charity gala Giovanni hosted for youth shelters. David stood beside him on stage, heart exposed to flashing cameras. "Finding that wallet saved more than my finances," he said in a short speech, voice steady. "It showed me love doesn't have to hide." The crowd erupted, but backstage, Giovanni pulled him close. You changed everything. Their kiss, captured by a discreet photographer, went viral positively this time. Still, one final secret loomed. Giovanni's wallet had contained a faded photo of his first love, a man lost to suicide years ago due to family pressure. David had glimpsed it that first night, but never mentioned it, fearing invasion. When Giovanni confessed the story one quiet evening, tears flowing, David held him, understanding the depth of shared pain. The revelation forged unbreakable trust, setting the stage for confrontation with David's past that would either heal or shatter them completely. The invitation arrived in a plain envelope, no return address, but David recognized his mother's handwriting. A family reunion in Ohio, to talk things through. Giovanni insisted on going together, but David hesitated, the old fears resurfacing like ghosts. They'll tear us apart. Giovanni squeezed his hand. Then we face it as equals. They flew out midweek, landing in Columbus under gray skies that matched David's mood. The drive to the small hometown felt endless, fields blurring past. At the community hall, relatives stared openly. His father stood rigid by the punch bowl, mother hovering nervously. You brought him? His father growled, eyes flicking to Giovanni. David straightened. His name is Giovanni. And yes. The room tensed, whispers rippling. Giovanni extended a hand calmly. Pleasure to meet you, sir. Your son is an incredible man. The gesture disarmed some, but not his father, who turned away muttering. Over dinner, old wounds opened. His brother accused David of ruining holidays forever. You made us the town joke. David felt the psychological weight crush him, every childhood memory tainted. Giovanni listened silently, then spoke during a lull. I understand tradition. My family expected the same. But hiding who I am nearly broke me. His vulnerability shifted the air, a few ants nodding thoughtfully. Yet betrayal struck again when Tyler appeared uninvited, drunk and loud. See? He's using you for money, just like I said. The room froze. David confronted him outside, rain starting to fall. You leaked the photo. You were supposed to be my friend. Tyler's shoulders slumped. I was jealous. You got out, found someone. I couldn't. The confession cracked David's anger into pity. He hugged Tyler briefly, forgiving but setting boundaries. Get help. You deserve better too. Back inside, his sister pulled David aside. Dad's softening. But he needs to hear it from you. David faced his father alone in the kitchen, Giovanni waiting supportively nearby. I didn't choose this to hurt you, David said, voice breaking. I just wanted to be honest. His father stared long, then sighed. I was wrong to throw you out. Doesn't mean I understand, but you're still my son. It wasn't full acceptance, but it was a start. Tears shared in a rare embrace. The moment felt cinematic, years of pain easing under fluorescent lights. Returning to New York, David processed the growth. The trip had forced him to own his decisions, consequences rippling positively. Giovanni's company stock rebounded stronger, the diversity push attracting new talent. Their relationship solidified, dates evolving from secret to open, walks in Central Park drawing smiles instead of stares. Yet one lingering conflict brewed. Giovanni's board pushed for a prenup-like agreement, doubting David's intentions despite everything. David discovered the papers on Giovanni's desk by accident, misunderstanding exploding into argument. You think I'm after your money too? Giovanni explained it was legal protection, not doubt. After my past, I have to be careful. David walked out, hurt echoing family rejection. He spent the night at his studio, questioning if love could survive such tests. Giovanni appeared at dawn with coffee and apologies. I was wrong not to discuss it. You're my partner, not a risk. They reconciled with honest talk, David sacrificing pride to understand Giovanni's scars. Media attention peaked again when a major network wanted their story. David agreed only if it helped others, sharing the wallet moment as serendipity's gift. Interviews highlighted their journey, from disownment to mutual support, inspiring emails from strangers flooding in. Giovanni's family visited New York, warming to David over homemade pasta. The psychological aftermath lingered in quiet moments, David journaling his evolution from scared runaway to confident man. Friendship with Tyler mended slowly through calls, proving rifts could heal with effort. As summer turned to fall, their love faced its strongest test, yet when David's father suffered a health scare, forcing David to choose between rushing home alone or standing with Giovanni publicly. The decision would redefine family for both, pushing them toward a climax where truth and sacrifice collided under national spotlight once more. The hospital call came at midnight. "Your father's had a heart attack," his mother whispered, voice trembling. David packed frantically, Giovanni beside him booking the jet without hesitation. "I'm coming with you." David paused, old fears rising. "They might not be ready." Giovanni's eyes held steady. "Then we show them what real support looks like." The flight felt heavy with unspoken stakes. Landing in Ohio, they drove straight to the ICU. His family gathered in the waiting room, faces etched with worry. His father lay pale in the bed, monitors beeping. David approached first, Giovanni hanging back respectfully. "Dad, it's me." His father's eyes opened, weak but clear. "You came." The simple words carried weight, bridging months of silence. Giovanni stepped forward, introducing himself quietly to the nurses, then sat with David through the night. Whispers among relatives turned from shock to quiet respect as Giovanni arranged private care and covered costs without fanfare. "He's family now," his sister said softly, the acceptance spreading like dawn light. Yet the secret Giovanni had guarded surfaced fully when a tabloid dug deeper into the wallet story, uncovering the old photo David had glimpsed, Giovanni's first love, lost to despair. Headlines screamed, "Billionaire's tragic gay past exposed by found wallet." The nation churned again, sympathy mixing with scrutiny. Giovanni retreated into silence at first, the psychological toll visible in shadowed eyes. David confronted him in the hospital chapel. "You never told me the full story." Giovanni broke then, recounting the suicide, the guilt that drove him to build walls. "I thought if I succeeded enough, the pain wouldn't follow." David held him, sacrificing his own comfort to be the rock. "Your past doesn't define us. It brought you to me." Together they faced reporters outside, Giovanni speaking publicly for the first time about loss and love. "David didn't just return a wallet. He returned my hope." The confession humanized him, stocks climbing as supporters poured in. Back home, David's father recovered enough for discharge, pulling David aside. "I was wrong about everything. Seeing you too. It makes sense now." Full acceptance washed over David like a wave, tears flowing freely. The family reunion dinner that followed felt redemptive, Giovanni sharing stories that bridged cultural gaps. But one final misunderstanding threatened. Tyler, sober now, confessed he'd sold minor details to the tabloid for quick cash during his relapse. David felt the sting of renewed betrayal, but chose forgiveness after Giovanni advised perspective. He's fighting his own battle. The decision strengthened David's character, proving growth through pain. Giovanni proposed a quiet commitment ceremony in New York, no media, just close friends and David's reconciled family flying in. Vows exchanged under autumn leaves emphasized partnership over spectacle. "You taught me acceptance starts within," Giovanni said. David replied, "And you showed me love survives anything." The climax built as Giovanni's board voted on expanding the diversity program nationwide, David consulting on design. Success brought fulfillment, but the psychological journey culminated when David visited his old college campus for a talk on identity. Facing students who saw him as inspiration, he reflected on every step: the door slam, the wallet, the leaks, the hospital vigil. Giovanni waited backstage, proud. Their embrace afterward symbolized everything conquered. Yet societal pressures lingered in subtle ways, a conservative client dropping David for his visibility. He sacrificed the gig without regret, choosing authenticity. Giovanni's empire thrived, funding shelters that mirrored their story. As winter approached, they planned a trip to Italy, Giovanni's roots, to heal further. The nation that once reeled from the wallet scandal now celebrated their resilience in editorials. David's transformation complete, from rejected son to partner and advocate. But one question remained etched in his mind as they watched snow fall over the city, hands intertwined. The ultimate test of whether love's truth could rewrite every rejection. snow-blanketed Central Park as David and Giovanni walked the same path where their story began, breaths visible in the crisp air. Months had passed since the hospital reconciliation, and life had settled into a rhythm of quiet strength. David's design firm now specialized in inclusive campaigns, clients lining up for his authentic voice. Giovanni's company led the industry in equality policies, the board fully behind the vision born from crisis. Family dinners in Ohio became monthly, his father even asking about Giovanni's business with genuine interest. Tyler visited New York, sober and apologetic, their friendship rebuilt on honesty. The wallet itself sat framed in their shared apartment, a reminder of serendipity's power. Yet beneath the peace, David carried the weight of every decision, every sacrifice that shaped him. One evening, over dinner at the penthouse, Giovanni slid a small box across the table. Inside was a simple key to a new home upstate, a place for weekends away from spotlight. "We've earned this," he said. David accepted, heart full, but the conversation turned serious. "Do you ever regret going public?" Giovanni shook his head. "It cost us privacy, but gained us freedom." "And you?" Their kiss lingered, cinematic in its tenderness, the city lights glowing through windows like the thumbnail of their lives. The next day brought one last ripple, a national award for Giovanni's advocacy, David invited on stage. Accepting together, he spoke briefly. "Finding love after rejection taught me we're all worthy." Applause thundered, cameras flashing. Backstage, David's phone buzzed with a text from his mother. "Proud of you both." The words healed the final scar. As they drove to the new property that weekend, leaves crunching under tires, David reflected on the journey. From the shocking disownment to the wallet's twist, misunderstandings had tested them, betrayals had wounded, sacrifices had strengthened. Giovanni's hand on his knee grounded him. "Ready for the next chapter?" David smiled. "With you always." The house overlooked hills, perfect for quiet reflection. Inside, they unpacked, laughter echoing as they argued playfully over furniture placement. Nights brought deep talks about future dreams, maybe adopting, maybe mentoring. The emotional arc closed with acceptance not just from others, but from within. David no longer questioned his worth, he embodied it. Giovanni, once guarded, opened fully, the billionaire facade replaced by genuine partnership. Society's gaze softened into respect, their story inspiring documentaries and youth programs. Yet true growth showed in small acts. David volunteering at shelters, Giovanni attending family barbecues without hesitation. The nation that was shocked now quoted their tale in debates on equality. As spring bloomed, they hosted a small gathering, friends and family blending seamlessly. Tyler raised a toast. To the wallet that started it all. Laughter filled the room. David stepped outside alone briefly, staring at the stars, the psychological peace profound. Every action, every consequence had led here. Giovanni joined him, arm around his waist. "What are you thinking?" David turned, eyes bright. "How far we've come." They stood in silence, love evident in the simple closeness. The journey complete, yet ongoing. True or false? Family acceptance is more important than personal happiness in a gay man's life.